So today I'm going to be doing a V5 versus V9 comparison. These two cubes are very good, and they're also made by Moyu. So it's kind of like, which one do I get? Because they're both like Moyu flagships. This is the V5 ball core UV. This is the V9 ball core UV. Not 20. It's not 20 magnets in the ball core. So let's start with the specs. The V5 is $25. You also get a robot. This. It's cool. It can move. But other than that, it's not very useful. It's kind of annoying that they make you pay for the robot with a cube, but the robot's cool, so yeah. Um, the cube is 75 grams, and it's 55.5 millimeters. So 75 grams is pretty light, honestly. When I hold it, it doesn't feel really heavy. Now let's talk about the V9. The V9 is $43, which is almost double, close to double. It's much more expensive. Um, it's 77 grams, which is slightly heavier than the V5, but I don't really feel that it's much heavier. And it's 55.0 millimeters, which is also smaller than the V5, but I also don't feel that. Like if I put it together, I can technically see it, but like not really. Well, I can see it, but I don't feel it. So now I'm gonna talk about performance. Both these cubes have very good corner cutting. They can go at like 45 easily and more. Um, but in my opinion, the way I feel like the V9 needs more effort to corner cut, even like even when I try and put it at a good speed, in my opinion. Um, the V5, even though it's actually lighter, I don't feel that it's lighter, but when you turn it, the feeling is lighter. It feels like a hollow feeling, which is pretty interesting. I personally like the hollow feeling, and I think maybe the hollow feeling and the light feeling makes it easier to corner cut. I'm not entirely sure about that though. The V9 feels heavier though. It like the feeling of it is heavier. It's not well, it doesn't feel physically heavier, but you turn it, it feels heavier. So I'm gonna do a sound test so you can hear like the hollow and the heavy stuff. Yeah. So the V9 is it's lower pitch and it's like a bit harder to turn, I feel like. So now I'm gonna talk about mods you can do to these cubes because the mods are actually really good. So with both of these, you can spring swap them. I actually recommend spring swapping them because in my opinion, they're too fast without it. As you can see, there's no maglev. Um, and so with the V9, you can honestly use any Moyu springs. Well, except for something I'll talk about later. But any Moyu springs, they're basically all the same. I use the Worm 2019 spring because I just had one, but you can literally use any Moyu cube except. So now with the V5, um, for some reason the V5 standard springs are like much much less compressed than all of the other Moyu springs, so they're lighter. Which means that spring swapping does less if you swap it with the V5 springs, which is basically makes the spring swap not as extreme. So with the V5, you can either use the standard V5 springs or you can use the any other Moyu Cube springs. I personally use the V5 springs, although I haven't tested the Worm or any other Moyu Cube springs. It still makes it like it still makes it slower and better in my opinion. Um, with the V5 springs, which is something I like. Um, more mods you can do with the V9, there's the special edition. I don't have it, but the special edition, it's the one with how these internals are teal. There's like light blue internals you can get, which is the special edition. Basically the V9, if I can take this out, and the V5 have edge repelling magnets right here, and that repels the magnets in the core, and that's like auto aligning, but people don't like it because the one magnets in the V9 are like strong. So people feel like the auto aligning is too much, and you can get that like undone basically with the special edition, the V9 special edition, which is um which is nice. So yeah, with the V5, there's another mod you can't de-edge magnetize them. There's no like V5 special edition, but something really interesting about the V5 is for some reason the UV coated pieces have weaker magnets than the um, non-UV coated magnets. So if you swap the pieces, like the 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 outer pieces, not like the entire piece, but if you take apart the cube and you split the pieces and replace those with the non-UV pieces, you get stronger magnets, which people like. But I personally didn't do it because I felt like too much effort for me. And when I tried one, I didn't feel that much of a difference, but I definitely felt the difference. One more thing I should mention is that the V5's magnets are much lighter, much weaker than the V9's magnets, which is partially what makes it good for OH. V5 is very good for OH. So now I'm gonna talk about competition. With competition, obviously you get nerves, and nerves make it so you're turning. It's more inconsistent, and so when the thing I'd like to mention is that with the V5, it has like a lighter feeling, which means that well, the lighter feeling is faster, which means that in my opinion, it's more inconsistent than the V9. Because the V9 needs more force, and which means it's more consistent, and you won't really like mess up. With like when I started using the V5 in competition, I got pretty unfortunate average because I would like overturn and it'd be bad. But I got used to it because I like the V5 because it allows for higher TPS. In my opinion, you can turn faster. But if you have bad nerves, you really shouldn't use the V5 in competition unless you can get a good setup for you that doesn't make it inconsistent. So my conclusion is that the V9, if you like slow cubes and you're nervous in competition, you should get the V9. And in, the V5, it's in my opinion, it's faster, but you can turn faster, but it's more inconsistent in competition. So if your nerves aren't that bad for 3x3, you can get the V5 if you like fast cubes. I personally use the V5, but don't really let that affect you. Um, yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.